Hi and welcome, guys. Sorry, I'm just a bit disorganised at the moment. Right, welcome to another live session with myself, Darren from Elite EDM Stars. I wasn't actually going to do today's live session. Just had a bit of bad news in the family this week, but it is what it is. So, you know, I've still got to continue to try and grow my academy, do what I can do to try and push out my brand and stuff. So I've kind of accepted now that the academy's not going to grow the way I expected it to grow, hence why I've had to go and get a job, etc, etc. We won't go into that, don't want any negativity. It's been a tough week. I've been exhausted from the new job this week, a lot of work to do, a lot of exams to do on quality and diversity, safeguarding, prevent measures and stuff within education. So I did a bit of a track last night, a bit of an idea, playing around with the classic Arturia synths, and I just thought I'd go through those two synths with you and show you what I've done. I'm not going to spend too much time in this position because I've had a lot of problems with my neck this week as well. That's another thing as well. I've been locked up, my back has been all locked up and stuff, and constantly being sat in the same position all day long. So I just thought I'd share this with you. As I say, I'm not getting much time these days at the moment until I settle in and we get on top of our work. There's a lot to do, redesigning a new website. I'm having to go through all the customer persona stuff and all of the building wireframes for websites and stuff, and there's a lot of taxing new stuff I'm having to learn as well, so a bit mentally tired at the moment. But this is my release. I'd like to share what I'm doing with you guys. So without further ado, I just want to welcome the new subscriber to the channel. So thank you for that. Welcome. Hope you have enjoyed the content I'm putting out on the channel. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And yeah, without further ado, guys, let's carry on. So let me just switch over for you and come away from here and go into Ableton. I'm going to bring down my CPU down a little bit more because this is going to tax my computer. I'm going to get some more RAM soon, so I won't have these problems. You wouldn't believe that I've got a really fast computer and I'm still getting these issues, but it is because I am mining Bitcoin as well at the same time. So yeah. So if it does, these plugins also do take up a lot of power. So what we've got here is the Profit, and also we've got the Juno 6V, both Arturia plugins, and I am going to be spending the next few weeks going through different Arturia plugins, just sort of showing you what the power of them, what you can do with them, and how easy it is really to just get a track going. This idea I put together last night. It's not a full track again, it's just in loop form how I like to put my tracks together. Trying to think of something how I used to produce tracks back in the day when I was stuck for ideas. How would I get something going? How would I get a rhythm going? That repetitive sound that is in dance music. And you've got to imagine, once you've got that nice repetition going, you've got to imagine the rest of the track pulled out. So what I like to do now is I work with sort of stem elements, and I go through all of my samples and try and find stuff in the right key and stuff, so that everything sort of falls into place quickly and matches quickly. And very quickly again last night I had this idea going. So I'm going to play you the idea first, and then we'll walk you through how I've put the whole thing together. So I'm just going to turn my sound off. I'm going to turn the mic off so it doesn't play back. Let's have a listen. Okay, so what I did, all of this just happened by chance, and a couple of the rhythm samples are Ableton Live built-in samples. I literally just went through different searches, typing in different things in the search engine, or should I say in the browser's search engine here, and coming up with different stuff like the words house, hats, claps, just literally searching for elements that I wanted to try and use. But how the track started, before I put any of the rhythm elements in and found different stuff, for example, I liked this element here. I haven't rolled any bass off it or anything yet. I will be rolling bass off that because I just want that sort of percussive melodic element to the start of the track, and it fits. It fits in some places, but it doesn't fit in others. It clashes with the bass line when the bass line comes in. So the bass line. Now, again, that was a later element that was added. How I started with this track was this. And again, the way I found this is I came into the search engine of the Prophet 5, and I went to, was it types? No, I went straight to the genres, and I went into house again, somewhere around here. Yeah, so I went to the house section because it helps you get more specific quickly for the type of sound that you might sort of associate with house music. Makes sense. So I went into house, show results, and literally went through all of the sounds, just going through, pressing one note at a time, just listening to what the sound was, what it was going to do, get familiar with the characteristics of the sound. Is the velocity sensitivity taking place? How does the note respond? Is it monophonic? Is it polyphonic? Can I play more than one note at a time, which is polyphonic? Monophonic means that you've got to release that note before another note will play. So you need to understand how each different key will interact in the synthesizer, how the characteristics being built up. So obviously for this particular sound I used the percussive organ. I went through all of these and we went back to the percussive organ. I like the sort of top tone of that organ. It is modelled on the classic Prophet 5. With the additional effects, these have been added on to the plugin, obviously the digital version. So you've got a chorus and an analog delay built in on top, which you can control as well. These brightnesses, timbres, time and movement will control some of these parameters. So whatever these are set to, these are like master controllers here. Obviously you can save your presets, etc. There's tutorials built in which will walk you all the way through. So if you come into here, overview, and it will literally walk you through. It will override the current presets, so be mindful if you've got something going on. But there's a tutorial built in and it will walk you through the entire synthesizer. It will break every section down for you. So definitely worth getting into. It's nice to have these. This is one of the plugins that we used to go to every time we used to make a track, sort of back in the early 2000s when we first started shifting from digital sort of analog gear like samplers and big synthesizers into more computer-based stuff. We started to focus on the Prophet 5. I used to use this plugin quite a lot, pretty much all the time. It was one of my favourites, so it's nice to have this back to in my arsenal because I know what it's capable of doing. The next thing I did was literally just copy it across. So how I started this was just literally a pattern, like so, and just offsetting some of the notes, thinking of the timings of eighth dotted notes, not triplets, eighth dotted. So thinking offsetting of eighth dotted note patterns. Even though I'm using a standard 16 here, I could eighth dotted will sort of offset like so. So I've used a sort of an offset here, and it's just a repeating pattern, and that's how I used to make my tracks back in the day. I used to find a repeating pattern. This may later on get copied across again, like so, and then a different pattern made out of it, slightly a different variation. I'm yet to do that. Obviously, the quickest way to get an idea is to find that repetitive thing that will work in a groove. Obviously, it's got to have a groove. I've created my own groove by literally offsetting the note here and offsetting on the sort of in between the. If you look at the downbeat, so that would be the first beat, second beat, third beat, and fourth beat. So I'm offsetting here and here to create that offset. Here it's slightly back, it's different, and that's what creates that monotonous pattern. When it hits this note at the end, it repeats again here. And as I say, there's nothing to stop you having a slight second variation later on once you build the track up. So coming into the next one was the Juno 6. Again, I've come to the same thing, exactly the same. I copied the pattern across, loaded the synth, and came into the styles, straight to the house music, around here somewhere, house, and show results, and come through, and literally went for into house, which has got that nice classic sort of detuned house organ type synth sound. That's the only best way I can describe it. But yeah, so if you look at some of the characteristics, again, basic synth, Juno 6V. We are talking, is it, I think, just one oscillator, if I remember rightly. We're talking just one oscillator. Arpeggio, LFO, DCO, VCA. Yeah, just one envelope generator. VCA, voltage controlled amplitude, voltage controlled filter, envelope, chorus. Yeah, I believe it was just built upon one oscillator. If I click on the advanced takes us into more of an advanced section, obviously with our delay and reverb, and a second envelope generator and an LFO too, and we can also do a little bit of assigning on a small mod matrix here, so we could have got mod wheel, velocity, and aftertouch can be set up. So currently if you've got a mod wheel like we've got here, this is then set up to control on here for voltage controlled frequency. So if we look voltage controlled frequency here, so this is controlling the cutoff depending where this is set. So if I play the sound, so you can see what happened there, because I've put the setting into a negative, it put the filter the opposite way. Okay, so just wanted to sort of show you this synth and break it down. It's nice to go back to the basic synthesizers, the simplicity of it. Yes, I'm just looking for the waveform. So here we have the waveform control. So LFO and pitch pulse width modulation, should I say? Not pitch width modulation, pulse width modulation. So that controls the width of the pulse being sent to the LFO. I'm just looking for the tone generators, which are, I can't even find them. Portamento control. I can't seem to find. I thought we had a. Yeah, here it is. Sorry, no, that's LFO2. That's a waveform settings. I'm looking for the actual voices. It's got to be controlled around here somewhere. It's got to be to do with this. There we go. It's got to be. It's got to be these, the waveforms. So we've got our, yeah, it is. It's our waveforms here. So we've got our square wave, saw wave, and a sub. So we've got a sub wave here, square wave acting as a sub wave, and that adds a little bit of noise into the patch. So yeah, we've got a high pass filter, and then we've got our standard voltage controlled filter with resonance in there, and that's our shaping obviously for the filter, so it's a positive or negative pass. And then that's our envelope control. We can shape the envelope with that. Yeah, that's keyboard control. So like when you control the build, bring the filter down. So that's keyboard follow or key follow. That's known as keyboard follow. So it follows the cutoff frequency follows the notes, the high frequencies down to the low frequencies, and it's just a timing of how quickly that filter closes down on those harmonics. Hope that makes sense. It's nice to play around with it to understand what's going on in the whole thing, really. Sorry guys, I was just playing around. That's what I kind of used to do before I had a nice little keyboard in front of me. I was always when I was making tracks, how I used to try and work out before I understood music theory a lot better. How I used to try and make a track was play a note just in like that one key, like I'm showing you, just one notation, and then I'll just hit the notes. And I try and work out a pattern. And that's how I used to do my music theory, because I didn't have a keyboard set up in front of me, which triggered actually every single note. And you actually see that this is just an arpeggiated sound. I've taken the delay off. That's even nicer with the delay back on. It's a delay, but there was nothing going through. So it straight away sounds out of key. No. I'm just going to turn that delay off, it's a bit irritating at the moment. Sorry, it's not an arpeggiator it's on, it's just an LFO syncing through. So what's happening here is a chord. You see it here, chord on. So it's just basically holding as a chord on. So if I take that off, that's what the sound actually sounds like. Okay, so there's something else carrying it on, which I can't quite work out at the moment. But obviously the chord, so I can change the chording as well, look. So if I just turn the chord on, that's the chord that's being played. Nice, isn't it? That's why when you're playing obviously with the chord, what you've got to be careful of is obviously your notation on the keyboard as well, because that's why some of the notes won't sound right. So it's getting the right chord, that's what you want to play with. That's my bad keyboarding. So you've got to kind of work out, because you're playing a minor chord, you've got to work out what's the right notation obviously. See what I mean? Classic old school rave type sort of riffs and stuff, but it's again, it's using a chord. Obviously you can build a custom chord. And I find as well using flat notes or sharp notes, whichever way you want to call them, black notes, sharp notes, flat notes, get that even more ravey type sound, especially when you're using the minor chord as well. I love it, guys. I do. I absolutely love it. So again, I haven't really gone sort of through this stuff here. This is just a simple rhythm, a sample, hi-hats, We've got some other effects going on as well in the background, of filters or uplifters, has stab sounds, and actually some vinyl crackle, which is nice to have in there. Just have that authentic feel. So we've got this going on here, and classic white noise uplifter, classic risers. So I could record that in. I'm not brilliant at playing. It seems to always, when I throw it, get it right, record, I always seem to get it out of time. I'm just going to throw it in, see if it'll quantize. Off we go again. So slightly gone in a different direction with this, but that doesn't matter because I can obviously come back to that. I am going to save that because I do like that. It may come in useful later on in the track when I come to the breakdown. Obviously I haven't built a track yet, I'm just piecing the ideas together, but I wanted to sort of walk you through my sort of idea building process, how I sort of approach getting that old school type ravey, housey, classic sound. That's the best way I can sort of describe it really, but it's for me it's inspiring. I go through a lot of synthesizers and listening to sounds, and some of the sounds just don't do anything for me, but as soon as I hear something like that I get inspired. Again, I've been trying to put together some sort of trancey ideas and progressive ideas, but it's not happening, unfortunately. I seem to be just falling onto these house sounds, and now I'm really enjoying these Arturia plugins. Again, thank you to Arturia for those guys from Arturia and Michael from Arturia, because the fact that they've given me full license rights for many years to these plugins, I can just literally just pick them apart and bring some short videos for you guys like this. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. I'm going to get off now. I was going to jump on Facebook, but I think I'm going to do the video tomorrow instead. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to jump on to you guys because obviously I'm starting to get a few new subscribers, and I hope you're enjoying the content I'm putting together. So peace, take care, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, anyway, I was just playing out there, guys. That riff there doesn't really go with the bass line idea that I've got going on there. So just one thing I wanted to say before I do go and head off, and one thing I wanted to say was this original sound I've got going on here, the idea was to complement with my bass line pattern that's going on in there here as well, which was that. So that's my sort of bass pattern, and yeah. So the idea was that this pattern is just a complement. It's just a simple pattern, a monotonous pattern that goes round and round and round, but over a period of time gives the impression that it's changing. It's not actually changing, but you can obviously make those changes, which I said earlier on. But the idea is that it's just repetitive, but the bass line is doing the movement. So hope that helps. If you like the video, please give me a like, a thumbs up, and consider leaving subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so, and yeah, also drop us a comment if you've got any questions. Take care and speak to you soon.